I think I was about 9 years old when I started, when my mother developed carpal tunnel syndrome, and she would ask me to rub her hands, and I would spend half an hour rubbing her fingers, her wrists, her forearms, and she told me at a very young age that I had a gift, and I also used to generate a lot of heat. My grandma Tootsie, who was about 88 or 89 at the time, when I was a boy, I remember whenever I would go over to her house, she would ask me to allow her to put her hands in between mine. And she would always say, "Joseph, your hands are warm as toast. You're warm as toast." And she would literally warm her hands up by my hands. And to this day, I generate a lot of heat from my hands.
And how did you get into doing massage? First of all, what were you doing before?
Beforehand?
Mm-hmm.
I was an actor in my 20s after I got out of college. And like every good actor, I was a bartender or waiter, depending upon which restaurant I was working at. So I was basically in the food and beverage industry for many, many years. And it was sort of like another way of being on stage. I really enjoyed working with people. And I guess I was in my early 30s and my sister said to me one day, "Do you want to be a waiter when you're in your 60s, Joe?" And I had to seriously sit down and think about that. And it was that and a combination of other things that caused me to really reevaluate and do a midlife career change. So I took a men's vocational improvement program at Los Angeles Trade Tech, and based upon the scores, my aptitude, what I excelled in, the results were massage therapy, chiropractic, and physical therapy. And so I went to my counselor. I told him the school I wanted to go to. I wound up going to school in Los Angeles. My teachers told me at the end of the semester, or toward the end of the semester, they were telling me that they thought I had a gift, that my hands had an incredible touch, and then when I graduated with the top grades in the class, and they asked me if I would guest assist an instructor from the institute the following semester, and I said I'd be honored. During that semester, I got to know all the teachers in the school, and they all told me, "Joseph, you have a true gift. It's very rare. If you want to be and reach your best potential, we can't offer it to you here." And I was like, "What do you mean? I just finished school." And they said, "Well, you know, most of us went to school somewhere else, and then we opened this location." And I said, "Where do you suggest I go?" And they said, "To the best school in the country." And I said, "Where is that?" And they said, "New York City." And I went, "That's where I'm from. You're sending me back home to New York?" So they said many of them have graduated from the Swedish Institute in Manhattan. I decided that's what I was going to do, and 2 years later I moved back to New York, went to school, and graduated. Was practicing in a spa, a couple of different spas for a period of time, and then the editors found me, started writing me up in magazines, and I've always been interested in it since I was a kid anyway. People get caught in the trap of working for the spa industry, big corporations that draw crowds because they're enticed by maybe being able to do more, make more, have a little bit of insurance, but ultimately it doesn't typically turn out that way. I just got over a 4-month injury. I pinched a nerve, unfortunately, 3.5 weeks actually, and I was completely out of work.
How did you do that?
You don't want to know. How did I do that?
Yeah, how did you pinch your nerve?
I sort of, in this chair, threw my arm up over here, and I fell asleep like this, and I cut the blood supply off to my radial nerve, and I developed it's called radial nerve palsy. I actually could not open my hands. It was like this. So it took 3.5 months to grow back. So I had no money coming in, and I had nothing but money, paying bills and no income coming in. And thank God I have insurance, So you want to have insurance. I think that a lot of people get involved, for all the wrong reasons and then don't wind up staying. And by the way, the statistics for massage are pretty poor. They say 25% out of, at least when I went to school, 25% of the people who graduate actually go on to do massage full time. And of those 25%, I think that the statistics were something like, a lot of people within 3 to 4 years develop injuries and don't continue to go on. So people like myself and yourself who've been in this business, 15 plus years, we're it's not the norm, it's the unusual. Actually, we're the rare birds.
It's physically demanding, it's psychically demanding, psychologically and emotionally demanding. And so it's not work, it's not like sitting in an office job where, because you are entirely engaged, you have to be conscious. It's a workout and a meditation at the same time, and a dance, it's choreography. And it's a field that has instant gratification because people come in smiling in anticipation of feeling good.
My tissue speaks to their tissue speaks to my tissue. It's a biological conversation between two creatures, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing to be involved in.
If you help people feel better, what a contribution to make.
When I talk to Joe about this, we talk about how lucky we are. Who gets to do something like this, to touch and to do something good with that? It's so special to be allowed to participate in this kind of activity, and it's great to get paid for it.
How do you feel?
Oh, amazing. Now my body's completely relaxed. Joseph is amazing. I've had lots of injuries. My husband's had injuries, and now I can turn my neck all the way around. It's great improvement, definitely.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Oh, sure, anytime.